Hello, good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I hope you are doing well today. Welcome to day 4 of Vlogmas. Today, I'm just going to go over everything I read in February of 2024. And I do have physical copies of all the books that I read in February. I'm just not going to get them all, so I'm just going to scooch over and I will put a picture up in the corner. So the first book I read in February and the 19th book overall of 2024 was Addicted to You by Becca and Krista Ritchie. And I like this so much more than I expected. I was shocked by how much I liked it. And yeah, this entire series is a 5-star for me now. So it was so good. Second book I read in February, 20th book overall for 2024, is Ricochet, which is the second book in the Addicted Calloway series. I didn't like it as much as the first one. It was still really good, and I totally understand where its place is in the series. Still really, really good. And the third book I read in February, 21st overall for 2024, is Addicted for Now, which is the third book in the Addicted Calloway series. Once again, really, really loved it. It's not very often I read a series back to back to back. I usually throw some other books in just to break it up a little bit. But as you will see, this series, yeah, I couldn't put it down. The fourth book I read in February and the 22nd book overall for 2024 was Kiss the Sky, which is the fourth book in the Addicted Calloway series. And this is where it is more the Calloway sister series, as it's focusing on a different couple. And it is my favorite couple in the series. So this is one of my favorite books out of this. It was so good. It was an easy 5-star for me. The fifth book in 23rd overall was Hothouse Flower, also by Becca and Krista Ritchie. And I really liked it. There's just something about it that holds it back from being one of my favorites. And I think it's one of the couple tropes, which I won't say because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not one of my favorite things. So, and that was the only thing that held me back a little bit. If I could try to get by that, they would probably be one of my favorite couples, up there with the couple from Kiss the Sky. And the sixth book for February and 24th overall is Thrive. It wasn't one of my favorites in the series, but it was still really good, and it was a really quick and good read. What am I on? I don't even know what number I'm on. 25th overall, and 7th in February is Addicted After All. Excellent, loved it. And in case you couldn't tell, I read this entire 10-book series back to back in February. It had me by the throat. I couldn't put it down. And then 26th book overall and 8th book in February was Fuel the Fire. This book's focus is on the same couple from Kiss the Sky, so it is one of my favorites in the series. It was so good. Loved it. Like infinity stars, if I can give it that. So good. 9th book in February and 27th overall. Long Way Down. Fantastic. Loved it. Like, the series just got better as it went, really. And then 10th book of February and 28th book overall for 2024 is Some Kind of Perfect, which is like a big wrap up of the series, and it was so good. I cried a lot. And this is probably one of my favorite romance series I've ever read. It is so, so, so good. I think I heard somebody compare reading it to like watching trashy TV. But the books are so good, but I get it because you just can't put it down. 5-star series. So good. Highly recommend. The 11th book I read in February and 29th book overall for 2024 is All This Twisted Glory by Tara Mafi. And this is part of the This Woven Kingdom series, which is so, so good. I am really, really hoping the next book comes out in 2025. This book, easy 5-star. I think I read it in a day. It was so good, I couldn't put it down. And I highly recommend that series. Her world building is so fantastic and beautiful. And the 12th book I read in February and 30th book overall for 2024 is We Hunt the Flame. Let's try that again. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. If I'm saying her name wrong, I apologize. This was so good. I loved it. I've had this book for quite some time. I think I bought it when it came out, and I don't know why I hadn't picked it up until this year, but I'm happy I finally did because it was so good and so beautifully written, and she is now one of my auto-buy authors. I will buy whatever she writes. Absolutely fantastic. And where am I? 11, 12, 13. 13th book I read in February and 31st overall for 2024 is We Free the Stars, which is the final book in that duology by Hafsa Faisal. Still really, really good. I think I liked it. Did I like it the same as the first one? Yeah, it was still really good. And yeah, it was fantastic series. Highly recommend if you haven't read it. 14th book I read in February and 32nd book overall for 2024 is The Scarlet Alchemist by Kylie Lee Baker. This was interesting. It was good. I read it because it came in one of my Fairy Loot subscription boxes. So that is probably one of the only reasons I heard of it. And it was interesting. I want to try to draw comparisons to Iron Widow, but I can't quite do that. It was good. I think I probably gave it like a 4-star, maybe? I don't quite remember what I gave it. I would have to look that up. But it was good. There was something about it that felt very familiar, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was. And the 15th book I read in February and the 33rd book overall for 2024 was Morning Star by Pierce Brown, which is the 3rd book in the Red Rising trilogy. Well, it's not really a trilogy. 3rd book in the Red Rising series. You can kind of break that series up into 2 parts as like the first 3 books and then the next 4. So in my head, this is the first part of the series done. It was amazing. I did wait to read this one because I didn't quite want that part of the series to end. So I held off a little bit, but it was so good. It was easy 5-star for me. I love this book, this series so much, and if I'm being honest, I haven't started the next 4 books yet because I'm nervous. If I'm being totally transparent, I'm scared that more people are gonna die, and I'm pretty sure they're going to. So for favorites from February, let's start romance since I read that whole series back to back. My favorites in that, I would recommend all the books, but my favorites from that were Kiss the Sky, Fuel the Fire, and Some Kind of Perfect. They were so, so good. And yeah, this is also a series that I wish I could read over for the first time, because I'm not sure it will hit the same when I reread it, because I am 100% going to reread the series at some point. For, let's say, YA fantasy, I think it's All This Twisted Glory, just because this Woven Kingdom, that series, I think about it a lot. And when trying to figure out when the next books are coming out, because I think it's going to be a 5-book series. So, and the writing in this just blows my mind, and it's so good. And the way this book left off was quite the cliffhanger, because I read it on my e-reader and I thought there was stuff missing, because she left it on one hell of a cliffhanger. And for a favorite, just adult fantasy, it's the only one I read. I could easily say it's my favorite of the month for anything fantasy. Morning Star by Pierce Brown. So good. I highly recommend the Red Rising series. I can't recommend it enough. It is so good. The book guy on YouTube, I'll link him in the description if I can, or in the comments. He has a video going over the Red Rising series to see if it's for you, and if you're unsure if you should read it, I would highly recommend watching that video. He describes it really well, and I watched it after I had read the first book, and there were things when he would mention it that I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that when I read it. So, yeah, I highly recommend watching that. And, yeah, that's it for today. So, thank you for watching. If you read any of these books, let me know your thoughts on them. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Or just what you're reading now. Should I read it? Should I add something to my TBR? And that's it. So, have a great day and see you next time.